Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Iman. Thank you. Thank you. Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله كما ينبغي لجلال وجهه وعظيم سلطانه والصلاة والسلام على أطيب المرسلين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. I want to begin by appreciating every one of you for being here on a Saturday morning, and I know weekends are very tough for everybody. That means there's so many things we need to accomplish in a weekend, so thank you for being with us today. Our focus today is parenting teens. However, let me start by saying this is only 1.5 hours, so we're not going to cover everything in parenting teens, of course. My focus also today is going to be on communication specifically, and we're not going to cover everything about communication with teens. But I am hoping, inshallah, that you leave the session today with at least something that will maybe help you in your interactions with your teens. So let's begin by kind of like seeing where we are. So how many of you have children between the ages of, let's say, okay, 6 and 12? Okay. How many of you have children between the ages of 12 and 18? Okay. And how many of you have children between the ages of 18 and 25? Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to ask for that because sometimes we think of the teen years as ending at the age of 18. And especially nowadays with the world the way it is right now, somehow our impressions of the teen years, which is basically, you know, teens who are exploring, they're figuring things out, they're trying to find out their identity, is extending all the way to 25 and beyond. Sometimes you even have people who are older than 30 and they are still behaving as if they are, you know, in the teen years, trying to find out who they are and exploring different things. And you go like, what's happening? What's happening? It's really has a lot to do with the culture, well, global culture. I'm not talking about the US only, because now with the social media, with technology, there are no barriers, there are no boundaries, okay? There are no borders. So ideas are just all over the world, and our young people are exposed to them wherever they are, you know, in the world. So you got a piece of paper that is about the sheet that says communicating with teens. Does someone doesn't have it? Okay. Do we have extras, or are we out? We ran out of those papers. Okay. So can you share with someone, whoever doesn't have the? Can you show it? Yeah, Mahdi, if you can. Okay. Yeah. Now, does everyone has access to the sheet, whether you have it or you're sharing with someone? Does someone doesn't have it? We all have one, and either or sharing. Okay. So some of you, because you came early, you went through the sheet already and you read it, but I want to give a couple of minutes, or actually let's have someone read it aloud, so we're all reading together, and then who would like to read? Yes, please, go ahead. And let's see. So I'm going to have you read what the teens...
All of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll have someone else read the other part, the second part.
What teens say. Number 1, no lectures. 2, make it short and sweet. 3, talk everything out honestly. 4, compromise. 5, don't talk down to us. 6, listen to us and don't talk over us. 7, don't repeat yourself. 8, if we have the guts to tell you what we did wrong, don't be mad or overreact. 9, don't pry or give us the third degree. 10, skip the 20 questions. 11, don't yell from a different room and expect us to come running. 12, don't guilt us by saying things like, I did it because you couldn't find the time. 13, don't make promises you can't keep. 14, don't compare us to siblings or friends. 15, don't talk to our friends about us.
Okay. Those are messages from teens about how we sometimes tend to communicate with them. And I want to emphasize that we come from a place of love. We do. We love our children very much. Okay, I doubt that there is anyone in this room who has actually sacrificed their Saturday morning and is coming here to sit here to listen to this workshop who doesn't love their teens very much. But irritated and frustrated with their behaviors or beliefs or whatever, what have you, and you start trying to get them to see your point of view. And so sometimes in our effort to get to them, we do all of these lovely things that the teens are actually objecting to, right? So any comments or questions about what the teens are saying, let's avoid these. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Sometimes I find it hard when it says don't repeat, because we tend to wanting something good for them and they keep doing the same mistake. So we have to repeat. I don't know how to get out of that.
So give me an example of something you repeat.
Let's say salat.
Salat.
We keep reminding them, do salat, keep repeating. You know, it's time for salat, do your salat, do it right and so on.
Yeah. This one, for Muslim parents, there are several issues that are very important for us, right? For us, especially us who are practicing, and Islam is like a core piece of who we are, core piece of our identity. We feel that it's our, and it is, we feel it's our responsibility to make sure they're praying, to make sure they are actually practicing, and all of that lovely thing. So sometimes we go into an overzealous control mode to control them, to get them to do what we think is right, and it is right. I'm not saying what we think is right is not right, but they're not ready sometimes to do what we think is right. And when we go into this overzealous control mode, we actually lose them. So, what to do with Salah? I'm gonna mention a couple of things, okay? It may work for some of you, it may not work for some of you. You may have other ideas, no problem. So, and let's also be clear about what age are we talking about. So you are going to define for yourself, okay, when your teen is beginning to recognize his or her own self-identity. And that's gonna be different from a child to a child. You could have, like I had 4 children. Each one of them was different, okay? So you may have a teen that you say, hey, Habibi, did you pray? And the child is like, no, I'm gonna go pray right now. So he will receive your message and, work with you. And you may have a teen who you say, did you pray? And then he says, I'm gonna pray later. And then you go and you know that your teen did not pray. Okay, so keep in mind the differences in your children, okay? When it comes to prayer, after a certain age, and you decide, what works in your family, you need to start putting the responsibility of the prayer on your children. Meaning, you need to start saying, this is your own individual responsibility. I taught you. I taught you how to pray. I took you to the masjid. You know everything about the prayer. Do you have questions about the prayer? Come and ask me. Okay? I am not going to start reminding you about prayer anymore. However, one more thing that you can do to help with the prayer is actually to have Salat al-Jama'ah in the house. And let me tell you, with Salat al-Jama'ah, it doesn't mean you're going to start yelling and screaming from downstairs and saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and pray now, okay? And just like they're saying in the handout, they're saying, don't yell at us from another room, okay? Have a system for when they know when prayer is going to happen, so you don't need to yell and scream. But do Salat al-Jama'ah. And don't wait for them. Like, how many of you have prayed Salat al-Jama'ah in the masjid? Okay, so what do they do in the masjid? They start on time. They do iqamah, and they start. They don't say, oh, we need to wait for Brother Ismail, we need to wait for Sister Fatima, oh, they didn't come, let's just wait for them. And you know what? The beauty of Islam, there's so many beautiful things about Islam. The beautiful thing about Islam is we have a way to join the prayer even in the last sit down. And we are told you will get the rewards of the group prayer even if you, just before the Imam says Salaam Alaikum, you're getting the reward. Like, that's so beautiful. So, okay, you just establish a system of how your kids know that the prayer is going to happen. Follow through. Start on time, okay? And don't nag. Please don't nag them about the prayer. Please also don't tell them, I don't think you made wudu. Please don't tell them, your salah is not accepted. Because you actually, I know not make wudu. And in front of Allah. Please, let's not do that. Because faith is a journey. Faith is a journey. Each one of you have gone on your own faith journey. Some of you may have been blessed to have discovered Islam early and never struggled, and you prayed all your prayers, and some of you know. Some of you maybe have committed to Islam later on in your life. Faith is a journey. So focus on making sure that your connection with your kids about Islam is a loving connection, is not a connection that is based on nagging and whining and how could you do this, and put the responsibility on them while saying, I am here to answer questions for you. Yesterday we had a beautiful conversation over dinner. My husband, myself, my brother, and my youngest daughter. And my youngest daughter opened up about her experience with learning Islam in Saturday schools. Because that's, what I did as a Muslim mother. I sent her to Saturday school. Beside what we're doing at home, you're going to Saturday school, you're going to learn Islam. And she said, it was awful, Mom. And this is not to reflect on any Saturday school. I'm just saying about her own experience. It was, Mom, it was awful because everything I did was wrong. And I was told always, oh, your prayer is not accepted because you're not doing your hands this way or that way. And she said, I was just filled with a lot of shame about my practice of Islam. So let's please, especially nowadays, we are going through a huge fitna, a huge trial, okay, that's affecting all faith communities, not only Muslim community. All faith communities are struggling nowadays. And they're struggling with what? They're struggling with their young people choosing not to practice faith. Okay? So let's be compassionate and let's be. The Prophet ﷺ was like that. I mean, I'm not inviting you to do something that the Prophet didn't do. And the Quran describes him. He says, if you were harsh, nobody would have come and listened to you. And this is what we're doing to our children or to the young people in our community. We are being harsh. We are not following the prophetic example. Okay? So for prayer, please don't nag. Do Salat al-Jama'ah in your house. Okay, don't wait for them to join you. And don't, and put the responsibility on them. Please start saying, it's your responsibility to pray. It's not your responsibility to remind you, because you're old enough to know. Okay? And I am open, I'm here, I'm open to listen to any questions that you have about Islam, about faith. One of my regrets is that my youngest daughter didn't come and talk to me about all this shame that she felt around how she was being taught Islam. I never knew until she was in college. So this is one of my, as a parent, I go like, okay, I don't know what I did, not to have that space where she can feel safe and come to me. And most probably is because she looked at me and she saw me like very very strong in my practice, and I love everything about Islam. And she's like, how can she come and talk to me about, these things when I am like that? So just be careful. Okay. So a long, long discussion, but this is one of the most common questions that come my way about teens. Prayer, specifically prayer, okay? And really know, I'm telling you, our young people nowadays are going through a wave of lack of practice. Not all of them, طبعا, but there is a huge wave right now, unfortunately. Okay. So any other, okay, let's, I'm keeping track of time because I want to do an activity with you, thank you, about setting limits. So I want to make sure we have enough time for that. So I would like someone to read now the second part of the communication sheet, if possible. Who would like to read? Yes, Mahdi, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Effective communication. 1, let's make a deal. 2, here's how we do it. 3, let's negotiate. 4, would you be willing to? 5, that's one way. I look at it differently. Want to hear? 6, in our house, 7, we can listen to each other without arguing, without agreeing. 8, Tuesday is. 9, time for. 10, if I find that, I'll. 11, let's do it this way until we have time to work out a plan we all like. 12, let's try this out for a day, week, month, and then reevaluate. 13, let's start with a set curfew and change it as we need to. 14, when you have, then we'll provide. 15, you may drive our car, borrow our clothes, etc., as long as, otherwise, I'll have to say no until I feel like trying it again.
Okay, thank you, Mahdi. Okay, questions about the part about how we can, inshallah, improve our communication with our teens? Any questions about any of this? Yes, okay.
So I just have a question about the let's negotiate part.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one worries me because if you allow them to have so much, not to say like that they have too much say in it, but it almost feels like it undermines parents and what they're saying. I mean, sometimes parents have to put their foot down and just be like, no, this is how it is. This is what we're going to do. But if you negotiate too much, I feel like they think everything is up for negotiation, And that gives them that it's not a 50-50 here. Kids are, they need to listen to their parents. So it's not, parents and kids are not on the same level. So how do you balance that, I guess?
Excellent, observation and comment. So let's see if this will make some sense to you, okay? Okay, the short answer, okay, and then I'm gonna do what I wanted to do. Not everything is up for negotiation, okay? So you need to decide what is going to be up for negotiation and what's not gonna be up for negotiation, and figure out what is your parameters for negotiables, if you will, okay? And different people will have different parameters for what is negotiable. Different households, if you will, right? So, so in my household, for example, one important thing was I recognized the difference between my responsibility and the responsibility of the children. This was important, okay? So, like for example, prayer, okay? Whose responsibility is it when they are teens? Their responsibility, okay? Your responsibility when it comes to their prayer is about providing maybe a space, and that's why I say make sure you are trying to do Salat al-Jama'ah in your house, because that's your way of, encouraging prayers, right? But the actual doing of the prayer is their responsibility, not yours. So the first parameter is always assess whose responsibility is it. The same thing applies to homework. Whose responsibility is it? Guys, it's their responsibility. And what do some parents do? Did you do homework? Sit down. I'm going to sit next to you until you finish your homework. Okay? That's even when they are teens. We're not talking when they're young, kids under the age of 12. Okay? So really be very clear on the boundaries of what is your responsibility and what is their responsibility. That's one. The other one is, for me, for example, for me personally, I followed basically for me what was really clearly halal and haram. You see what I used, how I described it? I said clearly halal and haram. I didn't say what some people say is halal while other people say maybe. Please, there is huge variation within our tradition. So stick to what is clearly halal and haram. Okay, so if one opinion says something is halal, another opinion says it's haram, okay, you hear me clearly? Don't make an issue with your teens about it. Okay, just because of all the pressures we're going through right now, just because you feel saying it's haram is better, but there is someone who's saying it's okay, it's halal, okay, allow your teen to follow that. It's okay, it's within the tradition. That is way better than them coming to you one time and telling you, I'm leaving Islam, all of Islam. Because this Islam is just too archaic, too backwards, doesn't allow me to enjoy life, okay? So the other parameter, so I gave you 3 so far. One is what is their responsibility? Second one is, in my household, was what is clearly halal and haram, so it's not one opinion. And the third one is what is under your control. Because there are certain things that are not under your control anymore. Okay, and with those, okay, accept the fact that it's not under your control and deal with it. Don't just argue, don't nag, don't lecture, and don't try to negotiate over something that your teen is just gonna do no matter what you say. Does that, okay? Okay, and the next exercise, I think will talk to your point also. But thank you for mentioning this, because a lot of parents, as part of their love, again, they're coming from a place of love. They love their children so much, so coming from a place of love is, I need to negotiate with them. No, there are things you don't negotiate. You have to keep your place as a parent, and your place as a parent is to set certain limits, but these limits have to be under your control. They cannot be limits that they have to follow, and you have no control over it. This is where we get lost with teens. Okay, someone had their hand up. Yes. Okay, so you're asking for an example of things that a parent should not negotiate, or can negotiate. Yeah. Yeah. So that is going to be different, by the way, from household to household. Okay. So let me give you an example. You have a household where the son, for example, is doing drugs. Big deal, right? At the same time, this son is actually also failing all of his classes at school. Okay? So you start negotiating with your son about the failing classes when we have a bigger problem, which is they're doing drug. You follow me? Okay, I want you to be real. And that's why it's hard for me to give you like black and white answers. Why? Because every household is different. And I always tell everyone who talks to me, the solution depends on the context. So the context is, what other problems do we have? What battles are worth fighting? Okay? What is more important right now? So you see? Okay? So, but I think the example we're going to do right now about setting limits, I think will give you maybe an idea about, more about negotiation and stuff like that, inshallah. But let me share this with you. This is from Stephen Covey, who is the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, an excellent book to read. So Stephen, and he has one about families too. So he has one about individuals, he has one about families. Both books are just marvelously amazing books to read. Okay, and very entertaining because he shares a lot of stories and so on. I want to also emphasize Stephen Covey is a Mormon, so he comes from a place of faith, even though he doesn't mention that in the book. But just the perspective, when you have faith in your worldview, when you have faith in your framework of what you see, the outcome is so different. So his book is just beautiful. Anyway, so he says everything in the world is divided into 3 circles. Okay, so we have the bigger circle here and then 2 circles. He says the big circle out here includes everything in your life that you actually don't care about. So give me examples, and different people will have different things, but just give me examples of what are some of the things you actually don't care about. And Rand, you don't worry about seeing it the same way. It's okay. I just want examples. What people think? What people think, right? Okay, so what people think of you, I'm guessing. Okay. That example. Okay, so what other moms do for their kids? Okay, one more example. Yeah. Oh. You don't care what? Okay. Yeah. So celebrities, you're not into the celebrity worship thing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, okay. So celebrity worship. Okay, thank you. Good. Now he says, so this is the big circle, everything that you don't care about in your life. And I want you to start thinking about this in your own life. This was a huge paradigm shift for me. Okay. Care about now, okay, falls into these 2 circles. You're with me? The small one, I'm going to begin with the small one. So it's things you actually care about, but you actually have direct control over. Okay? Here is things you care about, but you don't have direct control over. Okay? So no direct control. Okay, so let's give examples to make this very clear. And he names these 2 circles as follows. So he calls this one circle of concern, because you're concerned about it. Okay, you care about it. This one is the circle of influence. So, and what also he says is, most people, they go through life and they focus on this one. They focus on the circle of concern, things they care about and they don't have direct control over. And they let go of this circle, which are things they care about and they have direct control over. They don't pay attention as much here. And that's why their life is not effective, because they're so focused on things they don't have direct control over. So let's use examples from our parenting, from our interactions with our children. What are some of the things we don't have control over directly? What? Ah, how they dress. But, okay, so, okay, this one, okay. Yeah, okay, you did this. So okay, I want you to speak to this. Please, go ahead. So when it comes to, because this is another big issue with teens, right? Especially with teens. What is not under your control, and what part is under your control in terms of how they dress?
What's not in my control is day to day. What's under my control is educating them how to dress conservatively or appropriately. What's not in my control is what they choose to wear
Okay.
on a daily basis.
So I'm gonna maybe be a little bit, I'm gonna take what you're saying and tweak it a little bit different, a little bit more. Yes, you're right. They wake up in the morning, they choose, I'm gonna wear the green with the orange today. And you go like, you cringe. Oh my God, what kind of colors are these? Whatever, right? So yes, we're not gonna have a lot of control over the choices, daily choices, but where do we have control about their clothes also?
What I buy for them.
Thank you, what you buy. And that's exactly what I mean by people focusing here and then letting go of this. Don't let go of your control over what you allow to come to the house. You're the one who has the money. You're the one who's buying the clothes. Okay? So, please. Okay? I'll tell you another thing. Okay, for example, you don't have control over, for example, a girl who leaves the house with a hijab, goes to school, takes off her hijab. You don't have control over that. And you may go for a long time not knowing that this is what your daughter is doing until someone tells you, or she has the courage to come and tell you, Mom or Dad, this is what I'm doing, right? Okay. Okay. Do you get the idea? Do you want another example of what we have control over and what we don't have control over in terms of the kids?
How about their hygiene?
Hygiene. That's an excellent, excellent question. Wallah, Anjad, excellent question, right? So where does their hygiene falls?
As a parent, you worry about like them getting sick, not washing hands or brushing teeth or not taking shower when they need to. But
That's your
ultimately-
worry.
Yeah, that's worry because they will get sick or,
Sure.
But you can teach them, you can guide them, but then even if they don't follow, it's still your concern. I
It
don't
is
think
your concern.
but
That's why it's called the circle of concern.
But it's also, I can't differentiate between the two here because I'm not sure if it's not when it is not under my control. At what age you just say, oh, well, you haven't taken shower for 3 days, it's okay to just, when do I let go of that influence or concern to influence?
So let me ask you the question. So where is your control over their hygiene? How does your control manifest?
Pretty much
What?
taking them to the bathroom, turn on the shower.
Okay, so basically, drag to the bathroom.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's just that where the concern and influence, I can't differentiate in hygiene. How do you do it? Like
That's why I asked the question. How does it manifest? Because that's going to answer for
Nag.
you. No?
It manifests in nagging.
In nagging.
Yeah.
Thank you. In what also?
And then lecturing that
And
will happen, that will happen, and pretty much.
nagging and lecturing.
And then it becomes resentment.
From who?
From the teenage.
From teens.
Yeah.
And if we look back at what the teens told us in the sheet,
20, yeah.
What did they say?
Don't nag.
don't nag
Don't remind us.
and don't lecture.
No lectures.
No nagging and no lectures, right? So where does that leave you? Where do you think is the line now?
I'm still lost because they will still not do. It's okay. I'll take it in the morning.
Yeah.
And the morning comes. Oh, I don't have time.
Yes.
I'll take it after school.
Yes, yes.
So, and then I have too much homework. I'll do it next day. So it just keeps on going, and I feel like you've lost the battle because they're not gonna do it. she'll do it when she wants to do it. So, still, it's my concern, and how do I influence it?
Okay. When you come to this point where your battle, you know you're losing the battle.
Yeah.
When your weapons, let me be very clear,
Yes.
when your weapons for the battles are nagging and lecturing, okay, you know that this is when you need to stop. And it means the following, just like I said about the prayer, it doesn't mean you being passive. Let me be very clear. You transfer responsibility to the teen. So you sit the teen down. Okay, can you come here and let's role play, you and I? Okay, let's.
I'm the teen here?
You want to bring a chair or sit on the floor? You're okay? Sit. So one of the hallmarks of talking to teens, make sure you're seated when you're talking. Okay, don't talk to them when they are standing and you're just sitting, or you're standing. Sit down. This applies to all relationships. There's something about when you are sitting down, because the body calms down. Okay? The other thing is physical touch. Okay? So I'm gonna, so what's your name?
Farzana.
Farzana. Okay. So Farzana, Habibti. I have noticed that you are making some different choices about your hygiene that are different than what I think is appropriate. So I just want you to know, from now on, I'm not gonna nag you. I'm not gonna lecture you about your hygiene. It's up to you. It's gonna be very hard for me to hold my tongue, but I'm gonna try. So, what did I say, Habibti?
You acknowledged and you conveyed your concern, but also you gave me the power to make the decision
About what?
about my hygiene.
Okay. So, what am I gonna do?
Hold back,
I'm gonna try very hard to hold my tongue.
ignore me.
Yeah, I'm gonna very, very, very hard.
Yeah, I told you so, not to tell me. I'll
I
do
know.
it when I want to do it.
I
Back
know.
off.
I know. No, because some do this to you, right? Absolutely. So don't say changing and just agree. They're
None of your business how I take shower.
well, I don't know about it's none of my business. I am still your mom, and no one in the whole world is gonna love you more than I do.
I know.
So, so Farzana, now come back as Farzana, as the adult Farzana. Okay. What were you feeling, thinking, and deciding as you are role playing with me this role?
As a teen, it's hard to imagine.
No.
and this-
Don't think about the teen now.
Okay.
Okay. I just
That's
want
fair.
you, as you, having role played. What came up for you? Because you know what? When we do role plays, whatever comes up for you is gonna come up for the teen. Don't think about what they're thinking, because most people go to, but no teen is gonna feel this way. Well, they're human beings just like us. Wallah. If you felt it, there are teens who are going to feel it. Not all teens, but some will. So,
Yeah. You mean as a parent?
no. As
As-
Farzana in the role play, okay? Not as a parent, not as a teen, just as a human being, okay? What were you feeling, thinking, and deciding?
I felt like I have the power of control,
Uh-huh.
and it feels good to have control.
Yeah. Any decisions?
Decisions about hygiene.
No, about anything. It doesn't have to be about hygiene. As you're role playing, what, any decisions?
Not sure.
Not sure. It's okay. That's okay. Because sometimes the decisions pop up suddenly after having gone through an experience. They don't necessarily have to happen immediately. Okay. Anything you want to add about this role play that you and I did?
I think it's a learning curve as a parent to put myself into her shoes and see the world from a different view.
Yes.
I think it's a lot of baggage we carry from the culture, from where we grow up, and what we see others are doing. we sometimes feel we are not perfect parents.
That was beautiful. Because, nobody wants to have other parents come to us and tell us, which happened to me, by the way, with my second son. They would come and tell me, no, how could you let your son leave the house like this? And basically this meant for, I don't know, all years of high school, he only wanted to wear shorts, and he had long hair, and he would look unkempt, basically. Even though he takes the shower every day, but you look at him and you don't see him dressed nicely, yani. Okay? And to me, this is one of the areas where I decided this is not a battle I am going to fight. My only condition was the issue of prayer and aura. I said, I don't have a problem with you wearing shorts all the time, but these shorts need to be long, so when you are praying, your knees are covered. He had no problem with that. Because I didn't come and say, no, you can't wear shorts. How can you go to the masjid with shorts? Okay, so we're working. This is a negotiation here. This is an example of a negotiation where I said, my only condition is the aura piece for prayer. Wear shorts as much as you want. He had a sweatshirt that he would wear every single day, and it was faded. I'm telling you, I had some friends come to me, no, how could you let your son leave the house like this? Because her children, mashallah, were amazingly dressed. Okay, so that's why I keep telling you guys, it really depends on the household. I knew with this son of mine, if I fought this battle, I would cause more harm than good. And all for the sake of how he is going to look in the community. Who cares about how he looks in the community? I really care about him connecting to me. About him feeling safe with me, his mother. Because when he gets in trouble, he's not going to go to the community. I want him to come to me. Because I love him more than anyone else in the world, and I have the best, I want the best for him. So, okay, any other comments? Sorry about this role play.
No, this was good. This
Good?
was good. My kid looks like homeless too.
We're in the same.
All I say is let me wash them if you want to wear them every day.
So how about if we transfer responsibility of washing to him?
That's the problem, it'll never get done. Even if I wash it, they never get folded. Even if I fold it, they never get put away. So how do you fight that cycle? I leave it there and they pick from the basket till everything is done. So
That's fine.
it's
I remember as a mother when I was working, when my kids were little, there would be some weeks where we actually picked up clean clothes from the basket. This is me, the mother, okay? We're not talking about, just life happens, guys.
Yeah. So I let go. I just push the basket in the room. And
Excellent.
It's there.
Well done, bravo, and it's on them. Well done. But you are not willing to let go of the responsibility of them washing their clothes. That you still want to hold on to.
No, it's just that lack of time in high school. Sometimes it just, no, I couldn't. I have tried it on the holidays, but it still doesn't get done.
So
And then it says, where is my shirt? You said you would wash it. That was like 2 weeks ago. I said I would wash it, and I did the wash at that time. But their memory is much sharper than mine.
But it's interesting for me that what they told you is you said you're gonna wash it.
But then they play it because I didn't say anything. It
Yeah.
was 3 weeks ago for something else, and I
Yeah.
had done that.
Yeah.
So they are picking that. Sometimes it's just the battle, and they want to engage in that.
Sure.
In that battle of words, and main topic is lost, and they have picked about
That's true.
something else. So
That's true.
I just have to walk away because it's.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I'm just gonna say, you said something beautiful. You said their memory is sharp. And this is actually for all of you who nag and whine and lecture. They actually remember your words. They hate the repetition. And when they're not following what you're saying is because they're making a different decision. Okay? So focus again. And we're going to do an exercise right now, which I think, inshallah, most of you will find useful. So I'm just wondering, if you were to say to them, from now on, I'm not going to wash your clothes, then they also will remember that you said, I'm not going to wash your clothes
I
anymore?
have to keep it like firm, because what happens is
Yeah. Yeah.
I give in because lack of time, because her tests are coming up,
Yeah.
and I feel like I need to
Yeah.
help her
Yes.
succeed in school, so I'll do it this time. Probably in holidays I'll enforce it
Yeah.
more. So I make my promise and I break it. So
I
and
so appreciate you saying this.
sometimes it's hard to keep that stern
Firmness. No,
firmness,
not stern.
yeah,
no,
firmness
no, no, no,
on
no
your
sternness. It's just
I mean,
firmness.
firmness on you,
Yeah.
because you feel like, oh, she doesn't have time. She had this club
Sure.
meeting. She came 9 o'clock. Maybe I could do it because she really needs it. So
Thank
I
you
end
for
up doing it.
sharing our struggles as parents.
I keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I know I
Yeah.
am not putting my
Firmness.
own words into,
Yeah.
and I get. So it keeps on a circle. So it's
Sure.
hard to break the circle when their life is so busy sometimes.
You're right. You are absolutely right, because we love them so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Farzana. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a deep breath. We're going to move on to another activity based on or showing, highlighting, setting limits. So what I need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. I'm going to need 5 volunteers. Okay. One of the volunteers is going to be a teenager. The other 4 are going to be parents. So whoever is willing to come up here and work with us, just like I did with Farzana, we're going to do a role play. It's actually one of the best things you can do in a experiential parenting class is to engage in the activities. So whoever is comfortable coming up here and doing it, please do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's okay, that's okay. Yeah, he's like, you know, he's watching you. He's like, where did Mama go? Come, Mama's here. Did you see how his face like, this is an example of secure attachment. This, what just happened right now, is Mama is away. Okay, I feel threatened. Looks, Mama makes eye contact. His face lit up, and Mama did this welcoming, and he comes running to her. This is so precious. We are, unfortunately, with the busyness of life, we are losing this. And then we end up with so much problems. And we spend so much money on treating problems when we could easily have solved it and prevented it early on in life with secure attachment. Jazakallah khair. You have no idea what a gift you are giving your children and the whole community. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so we have 3. I need 2 more. Who's willing? Yalla, 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 yalla. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. So, okay. Okay, let's get your names, and then we are, okay, yeah. Hannah. That's okay. Thank you for participating, even though you are not feeling well. Thank you.
Iman,
Iram,
Shazia,
Kausar. Okay, thank you. Now, which one of you wants to be the teen? Okay, okay. Okay, Ina. So, good. So, Enam, you're going to be the teen. Okay. So, I'm going to take these lovely 4. You're going to have a break for 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes, please. Yani, don't go outside the room. You can stand up and stretch. But I'm going to take the 4 parents, and we're going to go to a mini parenting class and, and then come back. Okay, guys? So, 5 minutes, and then inshallah coming back. We're gonna reconvene, so if you can find your seat, please. Go ahead and find your seat. I'm gonna use this. Nothing to be scared about. Oh, no, this is gonna be lovely. Yeah. Okay. So, have a seat. Okay. this is, let me present to you what the problem is. So the problem is, Anam is, let's say you are 15 years old, okay? And she has one of these interesting smartphones. So, it's okay? Oh. Yeah. And so, Habibti, you're spending a lot of time on your phone, and you are not doing your homework on time, you're not finishing your homework on time, you're staying up all night, and you're having a hard time waking up in the morning. That's the problem. So we're going to have 4 different ways of how parents handle this particular situation. And this is an exploration, okay, just for you to watch how things happen. Okay, so can I have someone who can keep an eye on, what's his name? Eunice. Who's willing to keep an eye? Okay, you will? Okay. So you can relax. Okay. Bismillah. So parent number 1. The one, yes, you. Mm-hmm. Okay, here. Hold the... No, just sit. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. I see you've got your phone again.
Yep.
When are you going to stop using it?
When I'm done using it.
Okay, stop right there, young lady. I'm your mother. I gave birth to you. Okay? And you're being very disrespectful.
I mean, I'm not saying anything wrong. When I'm done with it, I'll be done with it.
Okay, well, I think that I bought this phone with my money, right? And I get a say in how often and for how long you get to use this phone.
You can have it back. I'll just get myself one.
Oh, okay. Well, you live in this household, okay? So I'll take this phone. It will be mine for a while until you've learned to get your homework turned in on time. I got a phone call from your teacher today.
Well, I mean, I'm not a child. I'll do my homework when I'm supposed to, when I can, I'll do it.
Since when is 15 not considered a child?
It's not.
It's
Okay.
not a child.
Okay. طيب. Now.
Can I bring it out?
Okay, let's begin with you. Okay, what were you feeling, thinking, and deciding as you're doing this role play? What are you feeling in your body, thinking, whatever?
My blood pressure, I can feel the blood course through my veins super
You felt
fast,
it.
just like when I'm getting angry. Towards the end, I wasn't able to, formulate thoughts and ideas clearly.
Wow.
I felt like I was cornered, trying to just come up with something to, to kind of suppress her and dominate and quiet her down
You
and
felt
keep her
that.
in my control. Yeah, I really felt that, and I was pretending. So
Yes.
I was just thinking, I have to punish this child. She's not doing her homework.
Yes.
She's on the phone.
Yeah.
And with that, I couldn't think straight. And I couldn't think about what is effective for her, what is good for her. Just that I need to be in control and I need to tell her what to do.
Thank you. I appreciate you very much. Yeah. Thank you, Iman. Okay. Now, Enam Habibti, what were you feeling, thinking, and deciding?
So I think the most, the strongest thought that I was having was, just because you did these things doesn't mean that you can do anything that you want, okay, you gave birth to me, but that doesn't mean you run my life after that. Just because you gave me this phone does not mean that I have to listen to everything you say after that. That was the biggest thought that I was thinking.
Wow. How about feelings? Anything in your body did you feel?
It was more just waiting for her to say something so I can say something back.
So that's the decision.
Yeah.
That's the decision. Is she's not gonna win.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what she's saying.
I have it. She wouldn't matter what she says. I'm gonna actually win.
Yep.
Okay. But feelings. Feelings are usually one words that describe an inner state.
I think it was probably I don't know what the word is, but
Sure.
feeling I owe you something, you're making me feel like I owe you.
So, feeling obligated, but no.
Not
no.
obligated, more
Guilt.
like she's trying to guilt me.
She is trying to
Yeah,
guilt you.
yeah.
Okay, so that is like you're feeling what? Pressured, resentful, angry.
Probably a little resentful. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Thank you. We're gonna do the second parent. So this parent, anyone can give me a name? What is this style?
Authoritarian, maybe?
It is an authoritarian, but what kind of strategy is the parent using? That's the emotional strategy, right? Then she's using punishment because I'm gonna take away the phone. Yes? Do you have a quick question?
I did ask to be born.
Okay. So you said, as a child, if I heard my mom say, I'm your mom, I gave birth to you, then one of the first thing, sorry? Yeah. Why are you using your decision to control me? As long as you decided to have there of this decision making, so how can you hold this over me? Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so we're gonna have parent number 2.
Iram, are you on your phone again? Have you done your homework, honey? I know, but I keep hearing the same thing over. I will later. And look at your friend Mariam. She's getting A's, and we have to get your grades up. I know, honey. Okay, you know what? Why don't we try this? How about if you can get your homework done without using your phone, I will take you and your friends to Disneyland for 1 month. That's all you have to do. I'll take you to Disneyland. I'll even let you walk around by yourself with your friends, and I won't follow you.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
In with you.
Sure.
Feeling, thinking, and deciding.
I felt like I was losing control.
Okay.
And
So I was out of control. I didn't have control.
I didn't have
Okay,
control.
so this is more of a thinking. Yes.
And I feel like I'm trying, if I bribe her, then it might motivate her to do something.
So that's the decision.
Mhm.
Okay, how about feeling as you are bribing her? What were you feeling?
That it's so temporary, that the long-term effects are
Okay, so that's the thinking.
like, what am I going to do the next month? And
Yes,
then the next month.
yes.
Every month I have to come up with something.
Yes, yes. Beautiful thinking. Yes. How about feeling? How were you feeling in your body as you're doing this?
Submissive to
Oh,
the child. Like,
very
I'm just giving in.
interesting.
Like I have to give in.
That's so powerful. So you felt submissive and giving in when you're doing the
I felt
reward.
like the child actually had more power.
Wow.
And this is so funny because I tend to do this with my younger children. Hey, if you go to sleep tomorrow, I'll take you here. Go to bed on time. But somehow with the teen, it just the gravity of it made it was so much more.
Right? And so did all of the just to make a point about experiential activity, because the parenting class is based on experiential. Did you think all these things while we were talking there, or when you were role playing?
Role playing. Yeah.
That's why we do experiential activity. Yes, thank you, Hannah. Absolutely. Until you actually role play, yeah, yeah.
Because
Okay.
I think, when she said, that I will get it done, I will get it done. It's something that we hear all the time. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it, But I'm not going to get is it going to really happen?
Excellent.
And how do I make that happen?
Okay. Thank you. Anything else you want to add? Thank you, beautiful Shazia. Thank you very much. Now, feeling, thinking, and deciding, Enam.
Like she said, I had the upper hand.
You felt.
Oh yeah. I mean, for something that's like a smaller trade-off, she didn't say I can't have my phone. I could just have it after I'm done with my work. And for that, I get Disneyland, and I get to go by myself and everything. Like, I was like, yeah, I have her where I want her because, I can get away with what I want. If I mean, for a teenager, that probably feels pretty good, but
And they will get away with things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
for sure.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. So we are ahead and do parent number 3. Okay, Kauthar.
You can tell she's coming here.
And keep the mic next to you, so close to you, so everyone can hear, even the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Iram, I see lately you're not finishing up your homework on time. You're having hard time. So I have decided every night, 10 o'clock, you bringing a phone to me, or I come and bring a phone from you and you can take it back on the 6 a.m. in the morning. I decided.
But that's not fair.
This is I decided. Let her go first.
You want first? Okay. No, it's up to you. Yeah? Okay, so go.
I don't know, I was speechless. Like, I couldn't even say anything. Like, what am I gonna do now? You know?
Yeah, what are you
Yeah,
going to do?
I can't do anything.
I can't do anything. Okay,
No.
what are you feeling?
Like, I mean, I'm not necessarily angry, but just more just kind of like, yeah, a little shocked and just kind of like, okay, fine, it is what it is.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. It is what it is.
Okay, so as a parent, I thought, I was like, when I said, because I already set up my limit, that is my limit, and I'm going to tell her, and I'm not nagging or anything, I'm just going to say, this is my limit, and this is it, and I decided. And even since she said it, I just said the same word, I decided, and I walked away.
So how did
So I
how
felt-
did it feel for
So
you?
I feel like I'm in control, and I
Uh-huh.
can decide what I had to say. I was like, I feel like I'm in control, and then she's like, I just made a decision, and I had to stick with it. That's how I felt it.
And in your body,
So I was like, in my body, I was
like, is there
so
tension?
when she tried to say, but like, then I was like, no. That's why I was like, no. I just wanted to be in control. I just decided, and that's it. It's like I feel like I'm in a better position, so I can just tell her what I want to do. But it was like I was not like angry or not like.
We're not angry.
I was not angry. I was not calm. I just like.
You were calm,
I
actually.
made my mind. I made my mind,
Yeah.
and that's I was calm. I was not angry at all.
Okay. So what part is under your control with this decision that
So
you
for
have
me,
made
in my control is take away the phone,
at 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
like you said?
like I said.
So when is this going to fail?
When it's going to fail,
Yeah.
like 10 p.m. The homework,
Yeah, when is
sorry.
this decision going to fail?
when I don't take away her phone.
Yeah, exactly. And that, so if you're doing these kind of setting boundaries and expecting the children just to abide by them by themselves without doing your part, it is going to fail.
Yeah, that's why I told
Yeah.
her, if you don't bring the phone, I'll come and get it.
Exactly. So like if, after a while, oh, I'm tired. Okay, I want to go to sleep at 9. Okay, let her have the phone
Yeah.
today because I'm so tired. What does the teen get from that?
Oh,
The ball is back in their court. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, mommy's
it's
not following
like
through.
mom not follow through with her decisions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let me, okay. Anything else you want to add, Kauthar? No? Okay. Anything you want to add about this?
no, I think that one was pretty good as far as like from a parenting perspective, and even for the kid, like I wasn't too angry, I wasn't like very resentful or anything, but I do feel like this is like a good setup after you have kind of given the child a couple of warnings first, where it's not like, where did this just
Sudden.
come out of,
It's
like out
sudden.
of the blue?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so instead of warnings, we can do observations. So in the same setting,
Observations.
meaning I'll come to you and say, I have observed Or it
Okay.
could be something like we got the report card.
Okay.
Okay, and you're actually, for example, failing classes. And so I have observed that you stay up all night. I woke up the other day at 2 a.m. in the morning. I found your room, the lights on. And so I have observed that you stay up all night. You have a hard time waking up in the morning. And your report card is actually lousy. So I have decided. You follow me? Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, thank you. So this strategy, I didn't ask you, what was the strategy that Shazia did? What was it? No, Shazia is the one who said, I'll take you to Disneyland. Rewarding. Right, okay. This strategy, okay, the one that just happened, is called, anyone wants to try? Can you hold this? It is part of the authoritative parenting style, and the strategy itself is called logical consequences. So let me be very clear about what are the differences between logical consequences and punishment, because people think when they do punishment, they're doing logical consequences, okay? So logical consequences have to be related to the issue. Was this what Kauthar did? Was it related to the issue? Okay. It has to be respectful. Was Kauthar respectful? In what way was she respectful? She was calm. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't screaming. So let me tell you, a lot of people confuse respect with that I need to really do what the teen wants. Like if teen wants, that means I'm not being respectful. No. Okay? Respectful means I need to look at the needs of three things: myself, the situation, and the teen. So in this situation, she's not saying, I'm going to take your phone away completely, you're not going to have your phone. She has her phone, but she has it within limits. Because we have needs. What's the situation need? Is she needs to wake up on time, she needs to sleep, she needs to do homework, all of that lovely stuff. Okay, so related, respectful, reasonable. Okay, when something is not reasonable, that means it's a punishment. So for example, when we did the first one, it was, she's gonna take it away for a month, I think she said, okay? So that's not reasonable, okay? That's why it's not a logical consequence. That's why in that situation it was punishment. And Iman, when she did the role play of punishment, Iman was just so sweet. Like typically parents, when they do punishment, they're not as sweet as Iman. Typically they're just yelling and screaming. But Iman, mashallah, is just so gentle and sweet. One is it has to be helpful in some sort. So what are we gaining from doing these limits on the phone? What's the gain? Oh, Habibi, yeah. What are we gaining from telling the teen, you're gonna get your phone at 6 a.m., I'm gonna take it at 10 p.m. What are we gaining? We're putting limits on, on the time, so that because she is not able to do it on her own. Like I told you, I have 4 kids, right? My first son had no problem with video games. He knew his limits. I didn't have to say anything. It was wonderful. Second son, I had to set limits with video games because to him it was the most important thing for him. It was very important for him, and I do believe it actually served him some really important, it helped him gain a lot of skills. So it's not, video games are not completely bad. I step in and put limits in place so it doesn't become, overboard, okay? So please keep these in mind. If you're deciding to do, because logical consequences have to come from you. And they have to be, again, under your control. Don't do logical that are under the control of the teen. It's not going to happen. Okay? Yes? Yes? I hope, inshallah, yani. Okay, so now we're going to do the last strategy. Hana, tfaddali. It's okay, Hannah. I mean, let's just, so you do it any way you want, but the strategy name, let me share with you, is focusing on solutions. So this is what Hannah is going to present to us right now, and we'll see where it goes, because this is not a script. Okay? We'll just see how it goes. Yeah.
Okay, so I have noticed that we waited for the semester to be over. I kept telling you to be on top of your homework, which I normally actually won't. Let me go back. I've noticed you've been on electronics on your phone a lot, and I would say, I hope school's going well. I hope school's going well. And you promised me it was. So your report card came along, and all I see is F's. And that's not acceptable. I believe in you, and I think you can do much better, because I know you have it in you. You're just being distracted. So I'm here to help you to see why your grades are failing, and hopefully together we can put some solutions, because let's be honest, and this is something I did, so we tried everything. Punishment, yelling, screaming, taking away for a long time, nothing helped. So I think it's time. You're a growing, girl, and I think you have great brains, and I'm here to hear you. So let's see what we can come up with to help the situation. Yelling and screaming is not going to take us anywhere, so I hope we can communicate this one.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like, it just, I didn't realize how much it was taking away. I was on my phone a lot and stuff, but I'll try harder next time.
Do to show me that you're trying harder. You can tell me you're going to try harder like you did the previous times and many times, but trying harder, I noticed that it just kept us taking, instead of like a C to an F. So you're trying harder. Do you need help somewhere else? Maybe you need a tutor. Maybe how about when you come home, instead of like going in your room, closing the door and being on your phone, or your phone is with you, you can probably put your phone on curfew for 3 hours. And then in that time, you can make productive time. Or you want to rest, because after school, I know you have a long day. Maybe rest for an hour, and then give me your phone for a couple of hours, do your work, and then you're free after that. You can have your phone till 11 p.m., and then you just have to give it back to me.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I can give it to you while I'm doing my homework, and then you can give it back to me when I'm done.
Okay. Now, I know some of you are sitting there and going like, there is no teen who's going to say this. Okay. Okay. Maybe, yes, some teens are not going to say this, but there are teens who will say this. Okay? So let's not immediately go like, it's because, it's Anam or Aram? Aram. Okay. Just because Aram is an adult, that's why she's saying this. Believe me, there are teens who are good-natured. Allah created them good-natured. Wallah, seriously. And they are more than willing to collaborate with you. So, but let's see, for me, what's important in doing this role play is to see what came up for both of you as you are doing this. Okay, so who wants to begin?
So I did feel like she was trying to work with me. I think every kid knows somewhere in the back of their mind, like, their parents are not out to get them. They know they really care. So she was like trying to work with me, and the least I could do was kind of compromise with her a little bit, but without giving up completely.
Okay, so there was that piece of you is like, I'm not going to give up everything.
Yeah, like, I'm not 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were you feeling though? You gave me thoughts, you gave me decisions, feelings.
I felt kind of sad.
Okay, so sad.
I felt sad, like she's trying, and I can see how much like it's hurting her. So I don't know, I felt kind of sad.
Okay.
For both.
Yeah, for you and for her.
Yeah.
Okay. There are do things just because they want you to be happy. And there are teens who are not gonna care.
So is it bad if they do?
No, No. Very good question, Hannah. Hannah is asking, is it bad if they're gonna do something just because they love us and they don't want us to be upset? It's not, as long as we are very careful about these teens who are really concerned about us. We make sure they have space to make decisions. We make sure to say to them, please, what do you want to do? What works for you? Without kind of like influencing them with our opinion. If you do that, then you are actually helping them not become people pleasers later on in life and losing their sense of self. Okay? That's very important. I'm so glad you asked this question. Because
I hear from my son who's 17 all the time, you know, I see you disappointed. So I was mad and I was angry and I would yell and I would smack doors. But to be very quite honest, I mean, I have 4 kids, alhamdulillah, and he's just my test, you know. So it didn't take me anywhere to be really angry. So I attended, mashallah, her workshop, and I've been following a lot of her wisdom. And it did help. Like when I sit down with him, and he's a young man, he tells me, Mom, it hurts me to see you disappointed, and I'm going to try my hardest. Yes, I know I failed. Yes, I know I didn't do well. So after, like, we sit and we talk for 30, 40 minutes, and to be honest, he does tell me what she told me, even though he's only about to be 17. He tells me, I'm going to try harder. Yes, I will. Let's try this for a month. Let's try. But then, you know, the next day something else comes about, and then we argue about something else. But it's a trial and error. I mean, it's not really, it's never set. You can never have a set solution. Never.
no, you need to be on your toes.
Yeah, always.
Yeah,
24/7.
and try different things, never give up, and focus always on making sure you're connecting.
Like this I'm sorry, this 10
Yeah.
o'clock rule that I have my daughter who's 15. We gave her a phone. She was 13. We told her 9 o'clock, your phone in our room, charger in our room. I promise you, if it doesn't pass 10, sometimes she's doing homework, she has apps on her phone. She comes every night, kisses me goodnight, puts the phone in the charger, and leaves her room. She's 15 and she does it. My son, no, where's your phone? We're downstairs charging. Oh, I'll give it to you right now. Oh, I don't, you know, so you have both, so it doesn't really.
Different
Yeah.
kids will have different personalities and
Yeah.
different priorities and different goals. Yeah.
However, how I was feeling.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
As a mom, had tried everything, okay? When I sit with my teen and I talk to him.
So you're gonna give me feelings in
about
the
her.
role play.
Oh, in the role
Yeah,
play.
only in the
When
role play now.
When I
Yeah.
sitting with you, I feel like we're connecting. Okay, there's respect, and I'm fearing inside the resentment from my teen, and I'm gonna lose them at one point because I have to pick my battles, right? I'm just discussing about a phone, but there are bigger problems that I might have to discuss later. So if I win this one, it's not about winning or losing, but if I manifest this one, that means what's to come later will be easier because I would hope I had built trust with her and confidence and comfort where we can communicate simply about the phone. Who knows what's in the future to come? So maybe I can build on it,
Right.
you know, as she becomes an adult.
Thank you, Hannah. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. Okay, so let me ask you just very quickly. You had 4 strategies. Okay, just a comment about the four in together in general. I'll hold this.
I mean, so there was a big range, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, like, the ones where I would feel disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, for a teenager, that's like a big no-no. You know, like, because teenagers, I mean, even kids, like my kids, they're all younger. They're 10, 7, 4, and 1. But even from them, it's like they're children, but they have respect, you know?
Okay.
And I still talk to them that way, that I want to respect you, but you need to respect me as well. So as kids get older, they're not going to become more childish. They're going to become more like adults. So feeling disrespected.
Which happened in which one?
I would have to say, let me think for a second. Probably the first
Which
one.
one? The punishment.
The first one.
Punishment,
yeah,
disrespect.
That
Okay.
one. The one where she was, where she just set like a strict, like, no, I decided, I'm just gonna, you know, set my thing. That one I didn't feel as disrespected. It was just kind of like, okay, fine, I did something wrong. I'm gonna get punished for it.
Punished.
Yeah.
You felt punished, even though it's not a punishment.
Yeah.
Okay.
The-
It's a consequence.
Right.
But yeah, okay.
Like kids know their boundaries too.
Yeah.
You know, even if they don't say it, but they know that they have boundaries. And the Disneyland one though, man, like, but you know, I think even as a kid, like, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I won. But I feel like at the end of the day, you're just like, as a child, you're missing that parent, you know, figure. Like, okay, so can I go to her as a parent because she's acting like a kid?
Wow.
So, like, I can get her to do anything I want, but if I have a serious problem, I can't go to her.
Wow. Thank you.
This one was really good. This one, like, feeling like you're on the same level. She's talking to me the way I'm talking, like, it's a dialogue, you know? And this felt more like genuine.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. So, for everybody who actually participated in the role plays and came up here, they are recording the session. So, are you okay with the recording, or should they not actually publish it? So, everybody who was up here and was on camera, you're okay with the recording? Because they're gonna actually, if you're okay with it, they're gonna publish it, and so other people will watch it. No objections? Did I have, yes, you're okay, Farzana? Okay, Aram, you're okay? Kauthar, Iman, and Hannah, we're okay, and Shazia, you're okay? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the workshop for today. Jazakumullah khair. I highly encourage you, if you are interested in attending the parenting class, please sign up, because you know it's really very hard for me to get a parenting class going just because of low registration. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala wanted this class to go on. I'm not going to tell you the story. The class, inshallah, is going on, and it's starting next Sunday. And so you can go online on Facebook on my page and find the link to registration. It's going to be in Irvine in the New Horizon lower campus, which is next to the Irvine Masjid immediately. Okay, highly encourage you, because you know I have just finished attending a 2-day trauma workshop, and the guy of the workshop is saying there are so many problems that we can prevent in childhood, and one of the best ways to prevent problems is effective parenting. So that's my mental health message to you. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. May Allah give you Quran in your spouses and in your children. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, you want this?